Yo, what is up, y'all? It's Cone back here again tonight with another episode of After the Buzzer, the show where I recap the NBA games from the night. There were like 11 or 12 matchups, so I'm not going to go through all of them. If I don't talk about your favorite team, I'm sorry. I tried to pick teams that I haven't talked about as much, but if there's a takeaway from your favorite team's game that you think I should know about, go ahead and comment that down below so I don't miss out on anything and others can also stay informed. Also, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these videos, and let's go ahead and get right into it. The first matchup I want to cover is Raptors versus Spurs. Now, San Antonio did not have probably their two best players in Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell in this one. They still had Jakob Poeltl, who himself has been phenomenal, but without those two scores, they're not going to win many games. And in this one, they got blown out by like 40. So I don't really have any takeaways from their side, although Malachi Branham looked pretty good in this game. However, we're going to really talk about the Toronto Raptors. In particular, Pascal Siakam is playing easily the best basketball of his career so far. He has been a legit MVP caliber player through this early going in the season. In the offseason, I believe it was on Media Day, he said, I've been an all-star, been an all-NBA player. Now my next goal is to be a top 5 player, and he's been probably one of the 5 best players in the league so far. And if not 5, he's like at 6 or 7. Right there in that conversation, though, through the early going, he has been a monster, and tonight he put up his 5th career triple-double. He had 22, 10, and 11 in just 28 minutes. I don't even think he played the 4th quarter, to be honest. I turned off the game when they were up like 40 heading into the 4th, so maybe he got some minutes, but I believe he just stopped after the 3rd, which makes sense because they were up by about $1 billion at that moment. Siakam, though, has been incredible. He has done everything for them offensively. On the season, he's averaging 25.6 points on 48% shooting, a career high 9.5 rebounds. He's averaging 8 assists too. He's doing, like I said, legitimately everything for them offensively. He has really mastered the art of commanding an offense from the center position. He's been a point center this year. That wasn't an experiment I thought would go great when he started playing center full time for them. I was someone who was like, I still think, they could move him back to the 4 and get like a real big rim protector. But no, I'm starting to think they really don't need that. Siakam does a great job holding his own defensively. That's been a calling card of his for a while, but even more so now, he continues to look more locked in on that end. And when you're the Raptors and you have like 18 guys that are 6'9" with like 7-foot plus wingspans, you don't really need that big rim protector because a lot of times the Raptors are just poking the ball away. If a bigger guy gets in the paint, they're swarmed by so many guys who have great hands and can just take the ball right out of their hands and run in transition. And Siakam is one of those guys. He has been great defensively, but obviously the offense is what I really want to cover because he's starting to take that next leap. Scoring wise, he's doing it in his usual way. He's hitting like mid-range jumpers. He's nailing shots from 3. There are very few players that can contain him one-on-one too. He's just got such a unique combination of size and physicality, plus touch from a guy his size. He's able to go to his spots basically automatically as well. He's been so fun to watch this season. If you haven't been watching Pascal Siakam or the Toronto Raptors, I implore you to please go do so because not only is the team fun, but Siakam himself has been a really fun player. He's must-see TV basically every night. So the scoring is, of course, there. Like I said, averaging a career high in points. But the big thing for me is the assists. Like I said, 8 dimes a game, and he's doing it in a variety of ways, whether it's out of the half court or in transition. There are multiple times in this game where he gets the ball off a rebound and immediately starts running in transition because he has the ability to handle the ball and he's fast. You have to guard him because if you don't, he's going to make you pay. And so defenses immediately try to commit to him. Someone rotates over to stop the ball, and he gets close to the basket, always finds a guy to dump the ball off to or a shooter to kick out to. He's just so smart in making those reads. He's consistently making the right decision in transition. And then the half court, like I said, very few players can stop Siakam when he wants to score. So defenses have to send 2 guys or they have to try and build a wall to prevent him from getting to the basket or send a couple guys to prevent him from getting to the mid-range. And that leaves someone wide open, which Siakam continuously, once again, makes the right reads. He finds the open guy, or if he's not finding the open guy in particular, he's finding someone that's open for a swing pass, then over to the open guy. He always makes the offense flow. It doesn't matter if you're sending a double at him because he's going to either score or he's just going to get the ball to someone else who is probably going to do the same. He's the biggest reason by far why the Raptors have looked pretty good in the early going. They've had some rough losses here and there, but for the most part, they've looked solid. They also haven't gotten much out of Fred VanVleet yet. He did not play tonight, and when he has played, he's been very inconsistent offensively, but it's Fred VanVleet. You know he's going to be fine. And something fun, because Fred isn't playing, is now they've got Gary Trent Jr. at the 1, and everyone's kind of sliding over, putting Christian Koloko in the lineup. So now their shortest guy is Gary Trent Jr., who's like 6'5". You've got Siakam, who's like 6'9", Scotty Barnes, who's like 6'9", OG Anunoby, who's like 6'8", Koloko's like 6'11", 6'10"-ish. They have one of the craziest lineups. They have to be so annoying to play. I can't imagine being a team that goes up against them and every single time you try to pass the ball, it's deflected or it's knocked away or your shot just has this crazy wingspan contesting it. They are one of the most fun and unique teams in the league. I love Nick Nurse's scheme, utilizing their length and Pascal Siakam in particular to put so much pressure on you when you're on offense, while also sending an unstoppable force at you in Pascal Siakam when you're on defense. Another guy I want to give credit to is OG Anunoby. He's been one of the best defenders in the league so far, looking like a legit all-defensive guy. Another guy that can just get in the passing lanes, get deflections. If he's near you, it's pretty unlikely you're going to score. He's continuing to take a jump on that end, which only goes further to solidify how annoying the Raptors are to probably play. It's not only Siakam, it's a combination of guys, and if you're not watching the Raptors play, I highly recommend it, because not only are you going to see Siakam dominate in every facet of the game, both scoring, playmaking, defense, rebounding, everything in between, but you're also going to see some crazy lineups and some really fun defense as a team, and that's just good basketball. Probably the best game of the night was Celtics versus Cavs. This was a huge one and could potentially be a playoff series preview. I'm crossing my fingers that we see these teams match up after the regular season is over, because both games they have, I believe, have gone to overtime, and it's been some really fun back and forth. So many great players on both teams. The Cavaliers did take this one, now having won 6 straight games, most of those without Darius Garland, but he did make his return tonight and looked like the Darius Garland we're used to seeing. He had 29 points, 5 rebounds, and 12 assists, making defenders look silly constantly, hitting big shots, but also Donovan Mitchell, who didn't score efficiently in this one, but down the stretch made continuous big play after big play, knocking down huge shots in overtime, trying to take over, and even if he wasn't scoring, playmaking for others, kind of an underrated playmaker, I feel like, at this point in his career, and playing great defense too. He was really trying to clamp up, showing a lot of effort, getting super into it. You can tell how energized he feels on that Cavaliers team, how much the crowd is kind of feeding into that as well. They just feel like one of the most exciting teams in the NBA right now, and I believe they're legit. I think the Cavaliers are a real threat to make a deep run in the East with those two guards. This is why you bring in Donovan Mitchell, because Darius Garland can't do everything his own offensively. He can't be the only guy that is constantly creating shots, and Mitchell now being there on the court, they're able to stagger their minutes, give them rest, each have them do some playmaking, some scoring, and at the end of the game, when you have those two guys on offense, you're going to be very hard to stop. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen too, both looked really solid, and as a team defensively, they made life really hard for Jason Tatum, who struggled to score efficiently in this one. He did have some big plays down the stretch. He dunked on Jared Allen and got a block on Donovan Mitchell at the end of regulation to ensure overtime, so credit to him on those, but offensively, the Cavaliers were really clamping up, and Jaylen Brown also kind of struggled to score efficiently, but he did end up having a 30-piece, and at the end of the game, had a fadeaway jumper to try and win, which of course he missed because the Cavs got the dub. The Celtics continue to struggle to get rebounds, defense. They need Robert Williams back desperately. And also, Joe Mazzulla kind of just hoards timeouts. It's really weird. If you watch the Celtics play, I swear at the end of the third quarter, they had like 6 or 7. I think I took a picture on my phone. If I did, I will try to put in this video. If I forgot, I promise something like that happened, but it's just weird. I don't know if he's like saving them up for a prize or something, but someone needs to tell him that he should probably use some of those. We had another game go to overtime in Lakers versus Pelicans, and it was sent there by a ridiculous corner 3 from Matt Ryan, who was on the team solely to shoot threes, and he shoots a lot of them. He's got like that 2016 Steph Curry green light. He knocked it down, fading away. Fun celebration. Big shout out to him. He was the guy that, if you didn't hear the story, he was doing DoorDash and the Lakers decided to sign him. He's now playing on the team and he has that massive shot that saves this game for them. If he doesn't hit that with like 2 seconds left, they're losing once again. But because of him, they went to overtime and got the W, now having won 2 in a row. So maybe the Lakers are back. I want to give a shout out to Russell Westbrook. He didn't play down the stretch in this one, which felt weird because he played great on the game. He continues to look great off the bench. bench. He's making plays for others. His playmaking looks kind of rejuvenated. Honestly, as a player as a whole, he looks rejuvenated. Just coming off of the bench, it looks like he has a bit more of burst. He's making smart plays. He had some turnovers here and there, which might have gotten him benched in the end. But overall, really solid game from Russ. I love what I've seen from him coming off of that bench. And like I said in the last video, I'm now pushing the Russell Westbrook 6-man of the year agenda, so just prepare for that. On the Pelican side of things, it felt like they had about 10 chances to win this one, but they continuously got out-hustled, which you don't see from this young Pelicans team. Typically, they're the one doing that to others. You know, Jose Alvarado gets a steal sneaking up on someone, which he had one of those in this game, or Zion skies in for a huge rebound and a putback. They were just kind of gassed. It seemed like they weren't really stopping guys on the offensive boards. There were like 6 offensive rebounds that the Lakers secured at the end of regulation that ultimately cost the Pelicans the game. If they secured like one of those, this probably doesn't go to overtime and the Pelicans are walking out of here with the W. Zion himself was pretty solid in this one. He had 27 points, but down the stretch made some big mistakes. He missed a layup on, I believe it was a 3-on-5 fast break when he could have slowed it up or found a teammate. He was still a massive reason why they were even in this game at the end and made a comeback. They were down by double digits at multiple times in this contest, but down the stretch, you kind of expect a bit more from your star player. He'll learn from it. He's still young, and this Pelicans team have still been really good to start the season. Then you had Mavericks versus Jazz, which of course went down to the wire, with Dallas getting the win off the back of none other than Luka Doncic, who just continues to be incredible. He scored 30 or more points in every single game so far. He's putting up historic numbers. It's been incredible to watch him. And if Dallas can just rack up wins, there's really nobody who can probably compete with Luka's offensive output to make him lose MVP. The problem is, can they get these wins consistently? They did get this one. Christian Wood has been pretty good too. He had 21 and 10. If he keeps up his production, it's going to be hard to keep him away from 6-man of the year. Lauri Markkanen, who I made a video about a couple days ago, struggled. He only had 14 and 7. Jordan Clarkson was probably their best player tonight. He had 22, 5 and 8 and continues to build his trade value if the Jazz do decide to go that route. And if not, he just keeps playing good basketball for Utah. Then we had Hawks versus Knicks with Atlanta getting a win in Madison Square Garden. And if I told you that, you'd probably say it was Trae Young who went out there and dominated like he typically does. But Trae Young was really mediocre in this game. He left for a bit after I believe it was getting poked in the eye. For some reason, I feel like I'm misremembering that. But Trae Young left for a little bit, and in his absence, DeJounte Murray went completely off. They were down by like 23 at one point, and then I think it was a 67-26 run that they went on. They end up winning by double digits, with DeJounte Murray dropping a career-high 36 points alongside 4 rebounds and 9 assists. He was incredible, and this is why you bring in a guy like DeJounte Murray. If Trae Young's having an off night in the past, the Hawks never win. But now having a guy like DeJounte who isn't going to put up, 30 pieces regularly, it's just not really his game, but he is someone that can come in now and help out a bit on that end. Tonight, he had a phenomenal performance, and it just seems like anybody that comes to the Hawks just immediately seems to hate the Knicks. On the Knicks side of things, I continue to be unimpressed by Tom Thibodeau. It feels like his rotations don't make sense. They went up big, and he almost immediately subbed out the guys that got him there. They started to lose the lead, and he just didn't put those guys back in. It feels like he just sticks to his rotations regardless of what the situation is. He has in his mind what he wants to go to, and he really doesn't deviate from that. You'll have guys having these phenomenal performances, but because they're not the guys he wants to play in the moment, they don't get those minutes. I just feel like he's not the fit for this team, and I feel like he's kind of on his way out the door if the Knicks don't turn things around. And they've been fine this season, but this is a game that they really should have won. Like I said, they were up by, I believe, 23 points. RJ Barrett also just has to be better. He continues to score inefficiently. If he's going to be the guy that they gave the max contract to, be one of the guys to be a cornerstone of their franchise, he has to perform better. He hasn't had really any great games so far. You want more from your guy that you drafted 3rd overall a few years ago. Finally, we had Kings versus Heat. The Heat win this one on a huge Tyler Hero 3 right at the end. He had 26 points and 12 rebounds. He's been so good in the starting lineup. Cool to see him finally get that opportunity. Lowry probably had his best game of the year with 22, 5 and 7. If they can keep getting this Lowry, the Heat can really turn this season around. Bam Adebayo had 20, 11 and 6. No Jimmy Butler tonight, which makes this win probably even sweeter for Heat fans. They're now 4 and 5, continuing to work their way back to 500 on the year. And on the Kings side of things, no De'Aaron Fox, which really showed they really could have used him offensively. Domantas Sabonis had 22, 12, and 8, one of his better games this year. Kevin Huerter had 22, 2, and 2, and he's very quietly averaging 19 points per game on the season. If you had told me that number, I wouldn't have believed you until I checked it. I know he's been putting up like 20 pieces here and there. It hasn't felt like he's been consistent enough to put up 19 a game, but he has, so shout out to him. He's really been hooping. Malik Monk had around 20 points as well. They just didn't have enough against the Heat team that really kind of seemed like they were on a mission in this game. That's all I have to say about tonight's matchups. Like I said, if there was anything I missed, and I know we didn't talk about like half the games, I'm somewhat sleep deprived, and so I'm trying to get this video out a bit sooner. Let me know in the comment section if I missed anything. I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these videos. I'll see y'all later. Real one, say it back.